Arran, Kat, and Rob, it is so amazing to have the three of you on this speaker spotlight, and it's for a very special reason as well. Take it away, tell me what it's about.
Well, it's actually probably to announce that we're doing the Dyscalculia Show at Dyslexia Show, which for me, it's a brilliant idea. And like me and Rob and Kat from the Dyscalculia Network, and it was, it came about. Can we remember where it came from? Can either of you remember?
I think I first mentioned it to you when I very first met you at the Dyslexia Show, and I said, "Why doesn't it say Dyslexia and Dyscalculia Show, Arran?" I think it was my first words to him when I met him.
You're right there. It was definitely that, and I kind of like. Well, actually, I think we only just met. I didn't really know what the Dyscalculia Network was, and then over time, then you then came back with because Pete Jarrett supported you to come to this to 2023 show, and then but before that we did was it Dyscalculia Day 2023, and I helped you, and we sat there in the adult session, and you were like, "Why is there not a Dyscalculia show?" I said, "Well, let's just do it." And that's where it came from, and it's been this amazing journey that we've come to. But I think I'm going to help Lauren here with a bit of intro. Tell us both, tell the listeners a bit more about what is the Dyscalculia Network. Why did you two set it up? And then we can and I'll talk then more about why we created Dyscalculia Show.
Well, if I may, the network was set up in 2019. I met Kat at one of her presentations in Oxford, and Kat said, "Let's have a coffee and a drink." And we went out and discussed afterwards. She said, "I've got a really good idea," and I went, "Oh no!" And she said, "Oh, we need to set up a voice, a place for people to go to find out about information about dyscalculia, because there's really nothing out there." And so the Dyscalculia Network was born.
And it is because dyscalculia is so significantly under researched compared to dyslexic. I'm dyscalculic myself, and it was only when I was 17 because I've always struggled with maths all my life. And in fact, I had a private tutor, and poor mum paid for a private tutor. I had all the extra support for maths for my GCSE and I still failed it. And it's only afterwards when I got diagnosed, it's like the penny dropped, like thinking, oh, that makes sense.
And was that your recollection as well, Kat? That
Yeah, that's exactly how it came about. And it was partly to do with the fact that through my own business, I was getting inquiries from all over the country. And I didn't know where to send people. And I did the Google thing, and I was like, surely there must be a dyscalculia association or group or something that advocates for people with dyscalculia or connects people together with other interested parties. And there wasn't. And this idea formed in my mind for a little Facebook group or a small website. And once I met Rob, it's just gone from there, really, and gone from strength to strength. And the network is now a community interest company, not for profit. And we work to advocate for those with dyscalculia and those who support them. So both for children and adults, because dyscalculia can affect anyone at any age. It doesn't go away. It's neurodiversity. And we look to help those people, whether it's in school or in their employment, and support those people who are helping them too.
That's the thing with dyscalculia. We like to say we hear a lot of dyslexia, we hear a lot of autism, we hear a lot of ADHD, but dyscalculia is still a condition that people are like, oh, do you mean dyslexia or what? It's still quite unheard of, even though it's been a condition that's been around for years, and that's probably why people don't realize in adulthood that they have this condition.
Yeah, it completely is underdiagnosed in terms of the numbers in the country. And I think one of our objectives is to raise awareness of dyscalculia. Because as you say, you can go into schools and say, "Dyscal what?" They can't, or sometimes say the word even. So, we're trying to sort of get out there and spread the word as much as possible in lots of different areas. Because as Kat said, we started off focused as educators, because that's what we do. We teach specialist teachers. But we quickly realized that, it's a bigger problem than that. It covers across the board in the workplace, adults, and it really does have effect on people's mental health when they can't able access the mathematics.
Absolutely. And especially when there's that lack of understanding that's there and that lack of awareness, and even constantly having to explain yourself socially about what dyscalculia is. And even when people say, oh, what's that? In fact, it's like you have to rehearse a script in a way to kind of define what it is. And it can be really challenging for your mental health.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's why having the conversation with Kat and Rob is actually having a national event or a national recognized event for dyscalculia, because even though like I use an analogy for dyslexia, and that is that there's between 10 and 15% of the population have dyslexia. There's probably a further 20% that kind of really understand it, but the rest of the country just think it's D's and B's backwards. But dyscalculia is so much smaller than that, and for me, we still need to spread that awareness. We still need to get people to be aware of it. We still need to support educators, parents, and individuals. And that was the thing, is that I have a platform with Dyslexia Show that is growing so well. And it's like, you know what, actually, I can allocate that space to dyscalculia. We can kind of take it onto that next level and make it work and give that support to the network, because the network is so amazing. And I saw this with Dyscalculia Day last year, of how much they just literally within days we were full on the events we were running. And to me, that was like, well, you know what, actually, let's make it a bit bigger. Like, we've got a 90-seater theatre. It's the biggest theatre at Dyslexia Show. It's actually bigger than the keynote, because we know already it's like 50% full. Like, it's that to me is like, what is the benefit of dyscalculia, is that people want that knowledge. So from my point of view, it's like, you know what, this is not, it's a no-brainer. Let's get this set up. Let's get it moving forward so we can give that support and advice to people, and also support the network, because like you said, it's like you two have both created it, and it's just grown and grown and grown, but you're still both working, you're both still teaching, you're both still running around probably like I do anyway, but that's just another story. But if we can keep going, it means then we can kind of help the organization to grow and kind of be self-sustainable, self-efficient. And it's amazing to see. And there's so far some amazing companies getting involved in dyscalculia. There's always space for more, of course. Can't not be that dyslexic entrepreneur without saying that, because that's what makes the event work. Is without the exhibitors, we don't have a show. That community really works. But no, for me, it was kind of like, you know what, it's a no-brainer concept. It is. Let's just invest in it and grow with it, and actually not just the education community, not just the dyslexia, dyscalculia, neurodiverse community have embraced it. Actually, the wider event community are really interested in it. It's kind of that same buzz we had back in 2020 when we launched Dyslexia Show, even though we never ran it. That kind of buzz is there. People are like, oh, that's new, let's do that. It's going to be good. I just can't wait. It is. And also the big thing is that we get a different color carpet for you, because everyone complains about my pink carpet.
Everyone has raved about your pink carpet.
I know, no, pink carpet is. I do, yeah, I do like it. But they've got a plum color carpet, because we kind of went a bit like, we've got to make a differentiation. So that thing, it's like that purple color, which is matching, very similar to matching the Dyscalculia Network's logo, which is what I wanted to do. So for me, yeah, now the pink carpet is quite cool, but it is a bit pink. That's the thing. It is like. It's like, I think I said in my original interview, my colleague Matt used to say I had to have an epileptic warning because of my shirt and my carpet. So, but no, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, I think kind of we've been very lucky that in the growth of the Dyscalculia Network, we've met some really lovely people. I think one of our sort of bywords is collaboration. You know, we realized quite quickly that we couldn't do it on our own. Even though we've got some great people that help us across the board. But we've met some really good people, and we have a fantastic advisory board. Aaron's been fantastic, but I'd just like to mention Pete Jarrett, Jane Emerson, Judy Hornigold, Steve Chin, Kinga Morsani from the Loughborough Research Unit. You know, without those people and the helpers from our advisory board, Pete Cherry, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So we've been very lucky and very fortunate that we've had worked with and, you know, really done some fantastic stuff together. It's been a real collaboration, I think, across the board.
And it just shows that need is there. That's why it's so important that we get people talking about dyscalculia, and that understanding that's there. So what can people expect from the Dyscalculia Show? Because it's co-located with Dyslexia Show, so it's just going to be fantastic. But I'll let you and Kat talk about it.
Well, there's going to be lots of exhibitors who specialise in dyscalculia maths difficulties, who will bring resources for people to look at. Because I don't know about you, my favourite thing about going to a show is looking at things that you can get and buy and interact with. And meeting people and talking to people. I think it's the first show, and I was just about to say this earlier, I think this is the first show in the world that's been a public show about dyscalculia that anyone can go to. As far as I know, before this event, there has only ever been shows, particularly for educators, for example, where it's teacher training opportunities, educator training. So this is a really unique opportunity to have our whole community together. So I think there's going to be some amazing discussions and amazing opportunities to meet experts in the field of dyscalculia. And we have incredible speakers at the Dyscalculia Show. So we have 11 speakers over the 2 days, including world-renowned experts like Brian Butterworth talking about dyscalculia from science to education, specialist assessors and teachers talking about maths anxiety, talking about teaching children with maths difficulties. We've got Bridget and Will, who Will is a teenager with dyslexia and dyscalculia who's going to be talking about his experiences with his maths difficulties. So we have a real range of speakers. Rob and I will be talking to about dyscalculia in general and times tables, one of our personal pet projects. So there's going to be really, really lots going on. But I think the most important thing is it's bringing our community together for the first time in person, because Rob and I haven't been in a position yet with the Dyscalculia Network to do that. And because of this show and because of Aaron's support of the network, what we're doing together is we're bringing the community together to learn more about dyscalculia, but also to have those really important conversations that happen around dyslexia and other neurodiversities already, where people collaborate and talk about things. And that doesn't happen as much from dyscalculia. So I think that's really, really key to the show, is opportunities for parents to talk to educators, opportunities for educators to talk to other educators and specialists, and opportunities for adults with dyscalculia to feel listened to and heard. And we also have 3 members of our adult advisory board, the Dyscalculia Network Adult Advisory Board, who will be talking about their dyscalculic experiences and what's helped them, which is really, really key to give support to other people who feel the same.
Absolutely, it's that lived experience, and you can't be what you can't see. And hearing that first-hand experience is not only so powerful, but it's so effective in how teachers, workplaces, parents work and treat people with dyscalculia. So it's just going to be absolutely amazing. So where can people get tickets for the event, Kat? Where can people find information about the Dyscalculia Show?
So head to the Dyscalculia Show website, which is just dyscalculia.show, nice and easy to find. Also across social media, there's a Facebook group, Dyscalculia Show Facebook group, but also through the Dyscalculia Network as well. We'll be advertising lots to do with the events and telling you about all the different speakers, who I also forgot to mention. Pete Jarrett there, I think, was one of the only speakers I didn't mention there. Sorry, Pete, we mentioned earlier, who's going to be talking about adults and post-16 education, which is really important for many people.
If you like, so that we would have educators and people really important in the education business, but also speakers aimed and focused at parents as well, because we want parents and teachers and educators to come, because there's going to be something for everybody there. So we deliberately chose a range of speakers aimed in those different areas.
It's Dyscalculia Show. It's Dyscalculia.show. You can also register through Dyslexia Show as well. But if you it doesn't matter if you get registering for either of the shows, you can still access the content from either, or they're all on the same registration system. But it's 15th and 16th of March at the NEC in Birmingham, Hall 8, and I'm hoping to see so many people there.